Yo guys, what's good? Ass here once again with another Exos Heroes video. Today we're taking on Skypath 4 and Starry Corridor 4. So let's get into it. Alright, so here we're into Skypath 4 or Skygate 4, the first one of both of them. And I tried to make the most free-to-play friendly team I could come up with. You don't need any of the FCs that I have here, it's just that I put them in because I was too lazy to unequip them. And this stage is a little bit special. So the only way you can damage the boss is by using magical and machine damage. So you have to be a magical hero and machine hero at the same time, otherwise you cannot damage him. And two of the ones that I found work the best are Zyrene. I picked her already for another stage. And yeah, I thought this would be cool to just do, right? Yeah, there isn't really much to say. So let's skip through this quickly, because it takes a little while to actually beat this up. Alright, so here we're at the boss, and as you can see, Zyrene and Deva can deal damage while none of the others can. The boss deals quite a lot of damage, so I felt you need a reviver and some additional heal. As you can see here, my Deva is almost dead, so healing, giving the shared health helps a little bit. And especially with your revivers not being able to heal, because they cannot damage them, it's really important to have a second healer, in my opinion. And yeah, from then on out, it's an RNG game, hoping that the boss never drops your reviver. Because as long as your reviver is alive, you have a good chance to actually beat the boss. If your reviver dies, you're pretty much done and you have to restart. I don't really like this kind of approach, especially since there are so many elements that don't either have solid healers or solid revivers, and we're basically stuck with having an hour-long battle, kind of. It feels that way. Even though it's not that long, just going through it and playing it on manual like the whole time feels more like a chore. It's not fun at all, which is kind of against the point, because I feel like you should have fun with the manual plays you're doing instead of trying to just work around RNG. So here I got a little bit lucky with my Deva blocking or dodging, one of the two, and not getting nuked immediately out, so I was able to apply some more damage. And yeah, now I can finally finish the boss. It's a rather annoying stage, and I don't look forward to this next month again. Like, not at all. So, and I think this trend kind of continues throughout the whole lab, which is a little bit more annoying. Okay, so Skypath 4 is done. So, and now we have the Scary Corridor. The Starry Corridor is not as difficult as I thought it was. So what I brought here was just some burst damage. It doesn't really matter which ones you bring. I always like a starter, because she just bursts so much. However, Otard is probably not the best choice here. You want to bring somebody who doesn't counter and stacks up the boss, because it can get really dangerous. So Otard definitely not a favorite here, but for example, FC Annie or any other burster would be really nice here. I brought Pan the first time ever, just because he's another mana battery and I want to gain mana as quickly as possible. So I have FC Iris here, but Iris would be totally fine as well. I'm actually overcharging my mana quite a bit with both of them. So Iris and Pan, the both of them would be nice. And the reason I brought them in was so I can skip a lot of turns and not stack the boss up with any damage. Kaya, she doesn't need to attack for the healing, so that is pretty good. And Pan and Iris just continuously provide me with mana. That is their whole job. And I don't attack. As you can see, there's only 2 stacks on the boss, and I can continuously nuke the boss. 3 stacks now. And you see, like, it hits quite hard. Otard gets a hit. Yeah, the counters, they don't deal enough damage to be worthy of being brought. So yeah, definitely avoid counters if possible. And there we have it. So those are the 2 that I wanted to bring for you today. So those were the kind of maze battles that I wanted to bring for you today. They're not particularly difficult, more annoying. Skypath 4 is definitely a challenge with you having to have like machine heroes that are magical damage, and there isn't too many of those. If you actually check with the filters, magic damage machine, you have basically Deva, Zareen, and then these ones, they don't deal enough damage. So all these dot heroes, and that's basically already it. I tried it a little bit with Ned, but because of his gear, I couldn't make him survive for long enough. But he also has a 500 damage multiplier, which could work in some ways, but yeah, I preferred Zareen because I already had some better gear on her. Alright, so with that all done, I wish you a lovely weekend, and if you like my content, consider subscribing. It helps me out so much. I will do more content like this in the future, so keep an eye out for that. As always, it was a pleasure to have you here, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, enjoy the grind.